Hello all, welcome back to Kalam IAS Academy. This is Priyanka Mahapatra, faculty at Kalam IAS for Essay. So today we are taking up the topic, your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. So this is a topic of the UPSC paper 2021, and this discussion series is a part of the discussion of the various topics of the previous year questions of the UPSC. Right? So let's get started with the meaning of this topic first before moving on to the brainstorming session. In the brainstorming session, we will try to generate the major dimensions of this particular essay. So coming to the meaning of the topic, this is a very thought-provoking statement. As you can know from the statement itself that how it is a thought-provoking statement, because it touches upon the keywords of the essay like perception and self-awareness. So let's now understand the first part of the topic, that is, your perception of me is a reflection of you. That means how you are seeing me, how you are thinking about me is nothing but your own biases, your own perspective, your own boundaries, your own expectations, your own prejudices, your own experiences. That means you are projecting your own internal world onto me. Right? Then come to the second part of the statement, that my reaction to you is an awareness of me. That means my response to that particular situation is nothing but it is about my own strength, my own weaknesses, my own value system, and my own boundaries. So this is the basic meaning of the topic. Let's now understand that how to generate the dimensions of this topic. So the generation of the dimensions of the particular topic is done in the brainstorming session. Brainstorming session is the session which you do in the first 20 minutes of getting the paper. Okay, you write all your ideas, whether it is structured, unstructured, relevant, irrelevant. Okay, you just scribble down on the paper, on the rough sheet of your answer sheet. Then you arrange those ideas, then you filter out those ideas which are relevant, which are non-relevant for this particular topic. You arrange those ideas in an orderly fashion, which is the UPSC directive. Okay, then you decide what will be the introduction part, with what will be the conclusion part, whether I am enough with my arguments and examples for the particular dimension or not, whether I am ready with the counter argument part of the essay or not, right? Whether I am ready with the way ahead part of the essay or not. So everything is defined and a proper skeleton is right in front of you. So that while writing the main content of the essay, you just have to expand that skeleton and you need not worry about that what examples I have to write in this particular dimension. You only focus on your writing part in the last 1 hour 5 minutes of your time per essay. Right? Got it? So coming to the dimensions of this particular essay, I'm not telling that these dimensions are the ultimate ones. You can have your own dimensions. So you can pause down this video over here and generate your own dimensions. Right? If ever you are coming up with any other dimension which is like apart from these dimensions, you can write it down in the comment section. I'll be happy to see them and discuss them further. Okay, so coming to the major dimensions of this particular essay, first is regarding how the perception of me is a reflection of you. Okay, that is the first part of the essay where you would be presenting your arguments and examples to establish this dimension. Then come to the second dimension, that is addressing the second part of the essay, that how my reaction to your perception is reflection of my own awareness. Okay, then come to the counter argument part of the first statement. Can we always say that the perception of people about me, what the perception the people are carrying about me is no way related to the reality? Okay, this is the counter argument part. That means sometimes the perception which the people carry about me, it is just the reality about me. Okay, then come to the counter argument of the second statement, second dimension. that our reactions, our responses always reflection of my self-awareness, or it is also situation based, right? Then you come to the way ahead part, that what can be done to not get affected by the perception of others. So come to the introduction part of this essay. So I would introduce this essay with the anecdote of Lord Buddha. So I would tell here the anecdote, the story of Lord Buddha, when he was sitting under a tree talking to his disciples, and then a man came and spat in his face. He wiped it off and he asked the man that what's next? And he was completely calm in this situation and asked his disciples also not to react, not to punish the man, because all his disciples were angry on that man. Okay, Buddha said that this man may have formed some notion, some idea about him. Okay, so actually in this situation, it is the man who has spit on Buddha's face. It is not actually the spitting on his face or directly not on Buddha. It is that he has spit on the idea which he has created about Lord Buddha. That means he has spit on his idea of me because he doesn't know me at all. If the man is not knowing Lord Buddha at all, then how can he spit on me? Okay, that means he has spit only on the idea which he is carrying about Lord Buddha. Right? So this is how you can connect the anecdote with the core idea of the topic. You can say that how that man's perception about Lord Buddha was very less about Lord Buddha particularly, but more about himself, more about the man's perspective on Lord Buddha. And coming to the second part, that Buddha's reaction was very calm, and that reflected his self-awareness and value system. Right? So this is how you would be justifying the wholesome meaning of the topic in the anecdote. Then only your anecdote will be complete. Then come to the first dimension of the main body. How the perception of me is a reflection of you. You can talk of someone's past experiences, how it influences the perception of one person, and how it gets reflected. Okay, you can talk of a patient who got cheated by a doctor once, and he will always see henceforth other doctors with the same suspicion, irrespective of the individual character of the doctor. Right? Then you can also talk about the assumptions. How a patriarchal mindset person will never give due respect, due regard to his female colleagues, because he has got the wrong assumption about the dominance of male in the decision making, irrespective of the capacity and capability of the lady colleagues. Then you can also talk of the knowledge, the disinformation, okay, the half understanding. So the low level of knowledge, understanding and information about a situation, it will decide that what kind of perception one holds about others. How limited and inaccurate information can distort the perception of individual. You can talk of the communal riots, you can talk of the mob lynching, you can talk of the cow vigilance violence. Okay, it is much about the inaccurate information or fake news. Right? So you can talk these things under this dimension. You can also talk of another example, that how conclusion about others is limited by one's horizon of thinking. An auto driver commenting on jeans of the girl who is wearing that jeans, an auto driver is commenting on that jeans of the girl, and that is reflecting nothing but of his conservative mindset. Actually, this passing on comment or his thinking about the genes of the girl, it has got nothing to do with the dressing of that girl, but it has got the perception of the person out, about the conservative thought process out. Hence, the beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. So, regarding the same object, different people may have different perceptions, because it has got less to do with the object itself, but more to do about the perception holders. Right? Then come to the second aspect of the essay in the main body. How my reaction to your perception is a reflection of my awareness. You can talk of the emotional intelligence. If one is reactive for a particular situation, then that exhibits poor emotional intelligence. But if one responds very maturely, very appropriate to that situation, then that exhibits higher resilience, higher emotional intelligence. You can refer to the anecdote of Lord Buddha here, how he reacted to the situation with calmness. Okay, you can talk of the self-awareness, how the reflection of your character is how other people see you and treat you. You can talk of the level of maturity. The way we respond to the situation also reflects our level of maturity to handle any difficult situation, adverse problem. You can talk of another example where a person is making a light-hearted observation, okay, and you can laugh easily. Okay, if the person is making a light-hearted observation and laughing easily, then it shows that the person has got a good sense of humor. Then this is also reflected in the openness to feedback. If someone is taking the constructive criticism, the flaw, the potential flaw in his or her work very constructively, he or she is open to improvement, then it reflects the openness to learning. Okay, you can quote Swami Vivekananda. He said that awareness is a simple act of acknowledging the reality as it is. For he believed that an uncultured person loves the pleasure of his senses. But as and when he becomes cultured in the later time, then he begins to appreciate the intellectual pleasures, which has inclusive heart that thinks about others too. Right? This is about the awareness, self-awareness that evolves over that evolves over time. Then you can come to the counter argument of the first dimension, which says that can we always say that the perception of people about me is no way related to my reality? So here you can present your argument that while their view isn't always perfectly accurate, while the people's view isn't always accurate, but it cannot be entirely unrelated to the person either. You can talk of a corrupt official. A corrupt official will always be a corrupt official, and that will be observed by all the people. So he cannot hide behind his image forever. Okay. So his true character gets exposed in the coming times. No matter how much he hides himself, the true character will come one day exposed. The official's actions will eventually contradict their carefully crafted image that they have been creating in the society. Because his inconsistent decision making, unexplained wealth, or neglect of the public needs will raise suspicion, right? So you can give one or two example in order to establish the counter argument part of the essay. Then comes the second counter argument part. Are reactions always reflection of self-awareness? Is it that we are only talking about the self-awareness or our own value system when we are responding to a situation? Or the response can be situation based? In most of the cases, our response is based on self-awareness only. Our own strength, our own value system, our own boundaries. But the situation in some cases may also push an individual to act which is not linked to his or her value system. Understood? Example, understanding the context is crucial when somebody who normally keeps their cool can also react very strongly when someone bumps into them in the crowd streets of Delhi. So somebody who is of calm attitude, it doesn't mean that he or she will not react badly when somebody is bumping into them in the crowd streets of Delhi. So these responses, they are a complex mix of automatic responses, which is triggered by the situation, and also our conscious choices, which is influenced by the self-awareness. That means the more self-aware we are, more conscious we are, the more control we have on our senses, the better we can manage our initial reactions. And we can choose responses that align with our value system, with our goals. So that only depends upon our capacity to control our senses, to become more self-aware. Then you can come to the way forward part, where you can talk the ways not to worry about the perception of others. Because the views are very subjective, the views of other people will not define your worth. Not everyone will like you, but that is okay. Opinions are just opinions. Then we should also understand that how perception of others, it is not real assessment of me. That means perception of others should not bother me. I should develop a tolerance attitude to accept the varying viewpoints of the society. Take the criticism. I should not react to the criticism because everybody is not going to like you. That is perfectly fine. Okay, then one should be empathetic to others regarding their ignorance, their immaturity. One should be empathetic in that situation. Okay, so this is how we can become emotionally intelligent. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it teaches us to control our senses if we want to be victorious in a situation, in the Mahabharata of inner self. Because we cannot focus all the time on issues that what others are thinking about us. Okay, I told you that it should not bother us. It should not be the concern of us. Life is full of challenges, and challenges can be countered only with a calm and composed mind. One should act with all openness. One's attitude should be inclusive. One should act in a justifiable way when we talk about the ethics and the morals. In the Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi, where we try to find beauty in every aspect of imperfection in nature. Right? So this was all about the way forward you could have written for this particular essay. Then we come to the conclusion. In conclusion, you will connect back to the anecdote of Lord Buddha. Then you would also conclude with a optimistic and futuristic note, with a balanced approach, where you can say that the idea of perception is nothing but culmination of the internal interplay between different impressions of different people. Hence, reaction and response to that situation must be very careful, must be very conscious, very much watched, as that will reflect our identity. So we cannot control how others perceive us, but definitely we can control our reactions, our senses. By cultivating this self-awareness, by controlling our senses, we can respond authentically and navigate the interactions more effectively. And that is going to benefit both ourselves and those that we interact with. Okay, so this is how you can conclude with this essay. Okay, so hope you are clear with the approach of this essay. Okay, so that is what this topic was about. Okay, then we will also discuss the next topics of this year 2021. Stay tuned to our channel Kalam IAS Academy for further discussions. Thank you so much.